Hello, I've got a beard, you know the drill. Welcome to Beards and Bangers. We're going to be fitting the K11 Micra induction kit today, so buckle up, strap yourselves in, grab a cup of tea, and we'll take it from there. And while you're there, if you want to find out more about the K11 Micra, or if you want to find out about all the other stuff I do with cars on YouTube, then please hit that subscribe button and please hit the thumbs up as well. So let's crack on with some work this lovely Sunday morning.
Welcome to Beards and Bangers.
So yeah, obviously my last video we had a question about the mass airflow sensor. I've taken some advice from a Micra Guru and he's given me some pointers, so we'll see what I'm going to do in the video in just a second. So I had some advice. Ignore, I haven't actually fitted that properly. I'm just sizing it up before I start shooting video. So this is the mass airflow sensor here, and the advice I've been given is to leave that in situ, blank off the hole where the mass airflow sensor would go, and run the car and see how it goes. So the advice is not to fit anything permanently. It's to just get the setup in place, get it running, drive the car for a few days and see what it's like. So what I'm going to do first is just get this fitting out of the way here, just to give us a bit more room. Although what we can probably do is use that little bracket there to fix this eventually. This is where it's going to stay permanently. We can maybe fashion something out of aluminium just to hold this in place. So I'm going to get some spray on that and then get that screw out, and then we can start fiddling around with it a bit. So thinking of the future, nothing's going to get bolted down until fixed, you know, anywhere, until we're completely happy with the setup, and that includes the cams. So that's going to be a little odd before I do that. So I'm just thinking of the future. I'm going to just get some bulldog on these, just so when the cam cover does come off, it's not difficult. So just a bit of preemptive strike there. So that's that bit done. We'll fiddle with this in a minute. The next job is we've got to get this little breather on here. Hopefully you can see that all right. We've also got our crank breather here, which just doesn't do anything. So again, the person who's given me advice, I need to have a word with him, because I don't know what to do with that for the best. So let's go ahead and get this little one off. What I must get is a pair of circlip pliers, because that will make life a little bit easier. That should just pop off like so. We'll retain that, and we'll clean it up in a minute with some hose cleaner. Just pop that there. Try not to drop anything into the engine bay today. And then we'll offer up our breather. Should just sit in there. Unless this comes apart, it does. Let's have a look. Have I done this right? Have I done it improperly? Well, do we put it in here? We might put it in there. In which case it's going to sit like that. Okay, so we'll clean that up. And we'll actually fit the I think the Jubilee clip supplied. It's a bit too big, so just pop that over there. That might clamp down, I don't know. Yeah, we'll put that back in a minute to give it a clean up first, and then we're good to go with this breather. So we'll get that on, so we're not leaving that open. So we'll put that back in the box. So I'm just going to rejuvenate this. That circlip's pretty well stuck on there. I won't try and force it because I don't want to have to buy a new hose, because they're not cheap anymore. Nothing's cheap anymore. That does not want to budge off there. Oh, there it goes. Go on, you're supposed to pop off. Okay, we'll clean it as it is, just with some vinyl and rubber care solution and a trusty microfiber towel. I love microfiber towels. They are ever so helpful. Look at that, that looked pretty crusty and now it's actually come out alright. What a lovely way to spend a Sunday, polishing your rubber. Let's go over that again. Make sure we get some on that end bit there. And this is yeah, this is, I think this stuff's pretty good for your door and bonnet and boot rubbers as well. And it's a good idea to do that on the older cars because they're a bit like leather. It's it sort of it needs that treatment every now and again. But that's actually come up all right. Okay, next bit, working out how to get the breather on. Yeah, so that fits in there okay, but that Jubilee clip is just way too big. So I need to get another Jubilee clip, and I haven't actually got any. I wonder if it's actually meant to go here. And that's supposed to, but that's too loose. That's far too loose. Yeah, that's not going to hold. Okay, we'll find another Jubilee clip and then we'll get this on here. I'm not too worried about it because it's just a breather. We don't really want anything getting sucked in to the engine, so we'll find a Jubilee clip and start again in a minute. Right, so we've got a smaller Jubilee clip now just to get that on there for us. So we'll get this fitted and then we'll get the breather on the car itself. Now, I'd be interested in people's comments if anyone's actually done this. If there's another mod, maybe a different. Let's get that started off, and then we'll. Right, that's nicely on there. Let's push it tight. It should clamp down, right? It's still spinning, so get it gripping a bit more. What we don't want is that dropping off, because that would be still a bit loose. So I think this isn't the right way of doing this, but we do need some kind of breather on there. Oh, that is gripping now. That's gripping. That's good. Let's go a little bit further. Don't want to go too mad. Okay. So that's that assembled. Let's go and get it on the car. Okay, so we'll get the breather attached first, so that's out of the way. Which way are we going to go? Go like that. Yes, that's not ideal there, so we'll have to get some advice, get some of your comments on that. But at least we are sealed up, so that's that bit done. Right, so I'm not sure how well that is sealing around the throttle body, so I'm actually going to pop a Jubilee clip on there. Let's make sure I've got the smallest of the sizes there. No, that is the smaller one. Hopefully you don't need to go smaller. I'm not going to squeeze it up really tight, but helps if I put the Jubilee clip on, of course, before. Yeah, that'll do. I'm not going to squeeze it really tight because I don't want to damage this assembly. That's about nice there, I reckon. So we'll just get around here, just get this a bit tight before I put it in the final position. Yeah, I probably should have gone for one a size down, but so I ran the car for a little bit off camera, and what I did was put my hand over the end and the engine should shut off, but it didn't. So I'm just concerned that air's either leaking here, here or here, so we'll eliminate it. It shouldn't be leaking there because that tape is should be sucking in, so it shouldn't actually be moving. Oh, that is the right size. Okay, that's good. So we can get that in a kind of final position now. Where's easiest to screwdriver it? There we are, I'd say. Maybe not. Let's try around here. Yeah, I reckon if we get it around here, like that, I should have put it on the other way. Yeah, let's do that. This will just pop off. Ooh. Quite a lot of pressure there, so it shouldn't be. Make sure it's sitting nicely. Happy with that. Hold it in place and get it done. No, it doesn't like that either. Let's go back to this plan. I wonder if actually I can just tighten it through there. Problem is getting the screwdriver in, unless I go for a stubby, of course. Yeah, that's better. So we'll change to a small screwdriver, much easier. Obviously not as much torque, but beggars cannot be choosers. So we just want this slightly tight, not very tight. Tight, but not stupidly so. Right, for a braking proceedings, we'll just have some more gratuitous exhaust parts. Offer up our cold air feed. So I reckon if we cut it about there just for now and tuck it, we'll tighten that battery cable up the negative earth strap, and we'll route it to, I don't know if you can see how well you can see, but just by here, because that's where that original cold air feed comes from. We've got a bit of a hole as well going into the wheel arch, so that seems like a fairly good place. So we'll cut about there, just to give us a bit more room. And this stuff just seems to cut with scissors. It's Just very thin aluminium. Probably done that wrong, but there we are. That's what I'm doing. And we've got a decent mating surface on there. Yeah, so I'm going to tuck it just in there for now. We'll get it fixed on with another Jubilee clip. You're probably going to say this looks like a dog's breakfast, and you're quite entitled to. It's your choice. A smaller one, I think. God, I keep doing that. Yes, it's nice and sturdy, and it kind of bends where I want it. I haven't quite got the final position right. We'll get some more of this because I'm sure we'll need it. So that's where we're going to go for now. That we can actually, if we do bastardise the old air feed, then that's exactly where it's going to sit. Momentary pause while the vehicle goes past. Alright, where are you? There you are. One video of a man doing up Jubilee clips. I mean, how good is that? Let's get that a bit tighter, and then we can just find the final position and nip it up. Not quite yet. Slightly too fat for this job, a bit like me really, just slightly too fat for this job. Not quite holding. Don't want to go too tight because this is plastic. The cone is plastic. I haven't done the fuel regulator yet, so I just wanted to get this offered up, see how it feels, and that's pretty good. Okay, so if we have a little look, that's pretty much secure for now. So we've got some pretty good clearance there. The cone is pretty tight, and we will need to secure it. So we've got the original fixing down there. You can see the end of my finger for the original air filter housing. So we'll get a little bracket fashioned that we can just bolt onto that. And that will hold really well. Down here we're going to do something with our original cold air feed, I think, and just have that kind of blowing up into that area. We might even shorten that because there's a nice bit of cold air there. We have got a little hole, but when I do the expansion tank I'll show you that. There's a hole there into the wheel arch, so there is plenty of fresh air in that area. It's nowhere near anything warm, so that's quite good. But yeah, here's the induction kit finished. Now, one job I have got to do, and I can still access it, is the fuel regulator, which is there. So I've got a Bosch 4-bar fuel regulator, non-adjustable, going in there. That may be too much for this engine. If that was a 1.3 or 1.4, that would be okay, but the 4-bar may be too much. I might overfuel it, so we're just going to run it as it is for now and see if it is lean at high RPM, and then we'll put the fuel regulator in, and then if that doesn't work, we will, if it's overfueling it, if it's too rich, then we will get an adjustable fuel regulator. But I'm not going to do that today because I don't really fancy fiddling with that fuel pipe. So and I'm cold, the rubber's cold, my hands are cold, so we won't fiddle with anything fuel related today. Yeah, so here's the finished article. We're not going to do a road test today. I know you're probably gagging for me to do that, and the reason for that is because there's still quite a lot of moisture in the engine bay from yesterday. and I don't want that moisture going where it shouldn't, or getting stranded somewhere and not being able to get recovered. So next job's going to be the fuel regulator, and a bit of a clean up inside, and probably another go on cleaning the engine bay. Well, I'm not going to show you cleaning the engine bay again, because you've seen that twice on my channel now. You don't need to see it again. But there we are, getting there, Kittenface. So thank you for watching another practical episode of Beards and Bangers. Please hit that subscribe button if you want to keep up to date with the K11 Micra Kittenface, and of course check out my other content, and I will see you again in the next video very, very soon. Goodbye.